Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial. Today I wanted to touch on the subject of OpenLDAP. I wanted to show you all how you can easily install OpenLDAP with a web-based interface. And just to check what's going on a Debian 11 machine. So first of all, what we're gonna do, we need to go to etc hosts, because we're gonna need to change the host name. So I'm just gonna copy and paste all the stuff because I have it reconfigured, so it's gonna be a little bit faster. So as you can see, I'm changing my host name to this. This is my domain name that I have bought, and this is the new name, OpenLDAP. Next, we will need to edit the host name. I'm gonna change it to OpenLDAP. And after this, we're gonna reboot the whole system. Okay, so we can connect. Now we can proceed with the installation. So now, once we have actually changed our host name, we can now install slapd, so our OpenLDAP, and some LDAP utils, so additional utilities regarding LDAP. You can install those if you're missing them. If you already have them, then they won't be pulled down. Okay, so the first screen greets us with a administrative password, so we need to set a administrator password, which I'm gonna choose here, something simple, and the installation is done. Next step is gonna be reconfiguring the slapd, so we're gonna do dpkg reconfigure slapd, and here we have the configuration of slapd. So are we gonna omit the OpenLDAP server configuration? Of course no. We're gonna change the DNS domain name. In my case, it's this, because that's the one I'm using right now. That's just organizational name, so here you need to input the same password you chose before. So in the beginning, do you want the database to be removed when slapd is purged? No. And here, yes, I'm gonna choose. Okay, so the last step of configuration, if it goes to OpenLDAP, we need to go to /LDAP.conf. So we're gonna configure the main configuration file of LDAP, and here I'm gonna add 2 additional lines. So this is the baseline, so this is my DC, and of course my URI, which is suggested to be left alone as localhost, so I'm leaving it as localhost without any additional changes. Now I'm gonna reboot everything. Okay, after that we can do LDAP search. So if you have configured everything properly, you should have a result 0 success here. If something went wrong, you should have an error saying that something's wrong. So if your configuration went well, you should have a success. So as we can see, we have LDAP version 3, of course. Our base is here, it's added. Here is our DC. Everything is fine. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna prepare my Debian machine for the installation of PHP 8.2, because that's the newest PHP, at least at the moment when I'm recording this video, and it's 2023. If you're watching this video and you have a newer version of PHP, then bear in mind that would be good to test it out on the newest version, because that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so first of all we're gonna need to download the GPG key. After that we're gonna add the requested link to sources.list. And now we're gonna do apt update for updating everything, of course. Okay, and of course at this moment you can choose either you want to put everything on Nginx or you want to put it on Apache. It's up to you. I like both of them, but I think Nginx sometimes is just more appealing to me, so I'm gonna choose Nginx. So I'm gonna install Nginx. After the installation has ended, we're gonna start the Nginx service, and after that we're gonna enable the service, and at the end we're gonna check the status of the service. So it's fine, everything is running and it's active. Okay, next step, what we're gonna do is we're gonna install apt transport HTTPS, LSB release, and CA certificates, because that's what we're gonna use. Okay, so after all of this, we can proceed with installing PHP. So like I said, I'm gonna choose the newest one, which is PHP 8.2. Okay, after that, I'm gonna install an additional thing required for Nginx, of course, and that is Nginx PHP 8.2 FPM module. So this needs to be installed as well. And after all of this, we're gonna install some additional things regarding PHP. So we're gonna install IMAP, MBString, MySQL. If you skip MySQL, you won't install this. When you're gonna use LDAP account manager, you won't be able to switch to MySQL database. You're only gonna have the option of the default database, because we are gonna also install LDAP account manager here, so we can easily work with our LDAP environment. So just bear in mind that if you don't install those additions, mainly MySQL, you won't be able to later on do this with the database. Okay, so I'm installing all of this, and now after that we need to pull down our installation. So let's go to the website. I'm just gonna shorten the website a little bit so you can see how it looks. So basically the main website is ldappaccountmanager.org. You can download from here the newest version of Account Manager, which is 8.3, at least at the moment when I'm recording this video. But we are gonna download the LDAP Account Manager 8.1, because later on, when everything is set up, I'm just gonna show you how you can easily upgrade the oldest version to the newest version. So I'm gonna choose, of course, the Debian package. I'm gonna copy the link, and it's easy. Just use wget. We are pulling down the installation. As you can see, the installation here has some kind of rubbish at the end, so we need to dispose of this. So I'm gonna change this. And now it looks like it should. Okay, so after all of this, we can do sudo apt install. So we're gonna install this package. It's gonna be package 1. Okay, so we're gonna proceed with the install. And after that, we're gonna need to start PHP 8.2 FPM service, because we didn't do that previously. Now we're gonna enable this, and at the end we're gonna check the status of the service. After that, I think time comes to actually configure the main Nginx config file. So we're gonna put that config file in etc Nginx sites available. We're gonna call it openldap.conf. And since I have everything pre-configured, then I'm just gonna show you how it looks. So in my case, it's gonna look like this. I'm gonna use SSL because I'm gonna create a self-signed certificate, of course. My root folder is in user share LDAP account manager. My server name is OpenLDAP Debian.pl, and I have included 2 snippets. One is a self-sign configuration snippet, and the other one is a SSL parameters configuration snippet. So in this one, I'm gonna have my self-sign certificate and the key, and here I'm gonna configure SSL parameters. Of course, we are using PHP 8.2 FPM socket, right? So after this, we're gonna create a link. So we are creating a link between sites available and sites enabled. And we are gonna throw out some unused things, like from etc Nginx sites enabled, we're gonna throw out the default configuration file. The same we're gonna do from sites available. I'm gonna throw out the default configuration file as well. And now, after all of this, we're gonna create a self-signed certificate. In my case, it's gonna be just called Nginx self-signed. And I'm gonna point it out to IP address. Now I'm gonna create a snippet. So, self-signed configuration snippet, in which I'm gonna put my certificate NDP that I just created. After that, I'm gonna create another configuration file, another configuration snippet, SSL parameters, which I'm gonna also configure here. And that's the things I'm gonna input here. Probably this stapling won't work, so I'm just gonna comment it out. After that, we're gonna do nginx -t just to check the overall syntax. The syntax is okay, and it's time to restart the whole nginx service. And that's it. Basically, that's it. The LDAP is configured. The web interface for OpenLDAP is configured, so we can go to HTTPS. So here's our OpenLDAP account manager in 8.1. So the first thing we should do, we should go to LAM configuration and open general settings. The password should be LAM. And as you can see, we have the database type here. This is the thing I was talking about previously. If you want to have it on local file system, then you can leave it as that, but of course, if you installed the additional PHP MySQL, you can choose here MySQL. So if you choose MySQL, then you will need to create an MySQL database and input all of those variables here for the MySQL database. So it's of course up to you which option do you want to choose. A session timeout, of course, that's standard. How much seconds do you want to put here? Allowed hosts, well, I'm just gonna maybe not gonna put anything here. You can of course allow specific hosts from which you can get to this account manager. So specify them, and other hosts are going to be blocked. So if somebody tries to reach it from a different host, it's going to be blocked. Of course, the SSL certificate can be uploaded from here. You can just choose the file from the desktop. So you can just log in with WinSCP. Let's say we're gonna choose a new session. We're gonna choose a new connection. We're gonna connect to the server. And from here, we're gonna go to Etsy. I'm gonna find SSL. Here is SSL, and here we have like certificates and private, and we got here the Nginx self-signed key, of course, and from certificates we should also have the certificate for Nginx here. Should be stored somewhere around here. And here it is, Nginx self-signed certificate. Right, so if you would like to add the certificate to your manager, of course you can just download the certificate on your desktop from here and just add it here by uploading the certificate. Or just you can import it from another LDAP server. Of course we have the password policy here, you can change it as you wish, setting all the different variables here. Logging, of course, log level, setting log levels, log destination, PHP error reporting, and you can change the master password because the basic password for general settings is just lamb. Okay, so let's check what's in the server profile. So the lamb as well, and we have here a server address. As you can see, it's on localhost, so the one that we have specified in our configuration file, the first one that we have created, ldap.conf, and of course the basic HTTP port is 389. If you would like to change it up for SSL, then you would change it up for port 680 something, I don't remember correctly, 389 or something like that. I would need to check what was the actual SSL port here, but you can change it up. You can activate TLS, of course. You got the LDAP search limit. Got some advanced options here. You can choose, of course, the language settings, time zone settings, which is quite important, of course, regarding where you are. LAM daemon settings, if you're setting anything regarding this. Tool settings, of course, we need to change this because we have some bogus stuff here. So this should be changed. Of course, this should be changed as well. I'm gonna change it to admin. Global password policy. Two-factor authentication we have as well. And the profile password, so you can choose another password because the default is lamb. So I'm gonna save everything. And to go inside the account manager, you will need to input the first password that you actually chose when you started to install slapd. So, and of course you will be requested to set up some additional things here, so you can set up the LDAP suffixes. You're gonna create them as well. Well, I did, because we don't have some things still configured, so we need to go back and probably change it in the server profile. Let's see, we got account types, and we need to change, of course, this stuff because I forgot about it. That's why the error popped out. You can change the organizational unit to whatever you want here. I'm gonna just leave it on default for now. Okay, so I think that's all the changes needed to be done. Yep. Okay, so that's it. We created some stuff, and here, if we go to accounts, we have user accounts and groups. So first of all, we would need to create groups, and then users, of course, because users are going to be part of groups. If you don't have groups, you cannot create this. So we have groups. I'm going to create groups. I'm just going to create two test groups. First one is going to be called users, and another one admins. So now we have two groups, and we're going to create two users. The first user is going to be called I'm going to call him Bill Paxton. As you can see, this is the username. The main one, very similar to Active Directory login. Command name, of course, and primary group. He's not going to be an administrator, he's a user. So that's what we're going to save, and we're going to create another one. We're just going to call him admin, which is going to result in a admin login. Of course, admins is a account main group. So we go to users, we got two users here, we got groups. Okay, we can go to tools as well. In the tools you got the tree view, so of course how it looks. You can change everything here, so you got the main object in LDAP, so your DC, and then you have the two organizational units that were created, so group and people, right? You can it's a hierarchical tree, so you can of course expand this as much as you want, change it, switch it. So we got some attributes here that we can choose. Those are the main attributes that needs to be set. We got here the internal attributes of this DC, right? So can the same check for the organizational unit. Next we got a PDF editor. Okay, we got groups and users, right? Users, let's create structure name users. Save. Groups users. We can even manage a logo. File upload. So here you can create multiple accounts by providing a CSV file, which is very useful here. So you can upload a bunch of people in a CSV file here. Of course, to whichever group you want, either to groups or to users. Multi-edit, LDAP import export, so you can, as you can see, import in the LDIF database. So if you have like an old LDIF database, you can choose the file and you can pick the file from the desktop and submit it here and import all of the settings from older LDAP setting, and of course see if everything turns out to be okay. If there are some differences or problems, you need to check them out on the fly, but it's a very neat thing to have, you know, just taking the all LDIF base and importing it here. The same, you can export everything if you are using this setup that I'm showing right now and account manager. So this is why I like it, because it's very handy. We got the OU editor here, of course. We can create different OUs here. What do we have here? The tree view. I showed the tree view schema browser, so can check that out as well. Server information, of course, LDAP version, stuff like that, tests. So we can run different tests. We can run a schema test, or we can do a LAMP daemon. Well, I don't have a LAMP daemon set up, so this test would fail either way, as you can see. Okay, so I think that's it for account manager. I'm going to log out of here. If you want to read more about the account manager, well, you can always click here, and here's the main site of this project. And here's the documentation. You can read about all of this, all of the features, how to use it. I just wanted to show how you can easily upgrade the older version of account manager if you're using this with OpenLDAP to the newest one. So let's go back to our server, and of course we're gonna go to the download section, and we're gonna choose the newest one. So Debian package, copy the link, again wget, then download everything here. And after this we're gonna of course install the package. First I need to again change the name of the package. And now we can install the package. So when you have the version that is previous to the newest release, to be honest, all you need to do here in Account Manager to update everything, you need to download the newest one, just run the installer, and everything is gonna be done. You don't need to do anything here, everything is gonna be switched. So, there we go. The easiest upgrade ever. As you can see, unpacking LDAP Account Manager 8.3.1 over 8.1.1. And there we go. Another thing you have to do is just restart Nginx. Let's go to our account manager. And there you go, version 8.3, the newest one. Let's see if everything works. 1, 2, 3. That was the password. I have both of my users that I created. Nothing has disappeared, nothing is broken. My groups, both groups that I created. Of course, configuration, general configuration, everything is the way I have left it. Okay, so maybe the last thing is creating a MySQL database. So if you are interested in this kind of way of doing it, we will need to download of course one other thing. So I'm gonna just use this from mysql.com. Okay, and after that we can just do the installation. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna choose OK here, and of course OK here. Let's do like this. And then once again, OK. So now we're gonna run sudo apt update for all the packages to be updated. So we can pull down MySQL, as you can see. And now we can install MySQL server. So first I'm gonna enter the root password, a root account for your MySQL database. I'm gonna choose, of course, recommended. I'm gonna wait until this finishes. I'm gonna go for the website. Let's check the documentation. Let's check MySQL. Do we have anything about this? We don't have anything here. Okay. The authentication. Nope. But you can, as you can see, there are some LDAPs here as well regarding some OUs that you can check out. I'm looking for a documentation file regarding MySQL where they show what kind of database you should actually create. Probably you should create just a basic database, but I was just curious. Okay, let's go back here because the installation has ended. We're gonna check the status, and now we're gonna do, of course, the secure installation. Yes, I'm gonna input 2 as strong, change the root password, no. Remove anonymous users, yes. Disallow root, I'm gonna do no. Remove the test database, yeah. Reload, yeah. Okay. So basically your MySQL is now prepared. It's installed. So now you just need to configure everything. And after the configuration is done, you need to input all of this data here. Okay, so maybe I will check if I have any kind of examples. Okay, so I have found the main manual of this LDAP account manager, and here we have an example of MySQL database that we can actually create. So let's check it out. What we have here, we got of course we're creating the database, which is gonna be called lamcron. this case at least. And we have a create user lamcron, which is going to be defined by password, which is not going to be valid because we need to change this password because I have chosen, as I have shown you, strong passwords. This is not going to be accepted. So let's say I'm gonna choose here Debian. Okay, and another one. Just go. All right, and grant access for new users. So we're gonna grant access. Okay. So as you can see, we have lamcron here. If we actually check out empty set, right? Okay, so nothing's here. Nothing's here yet. Okay, so we have created this. Now we will need to input all of the data. So, like you can see here, should be database, of course, MySQL, database host. Here is localhost, of course. The base port is 3307. Of course, database name was chosen as lamcron, and the database user was also lamcron, and the password we have set up here. So let's just add everything. What we're gonna do? I'm gonna just copy this. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy my password. Well, I think that's it. I'm gonna save it, and we're gonna go back here. I'm gonna exit. I'm gonna restart Nginx. And of course, I'm gonna restart the whole thing here. Let's go like this. Please enter the configuration and create a server profile. Right, so we need to create manage server profile. So once you change the database, because you have to bear in mind that once you choose the option of MySQL, you need to create the profile from the beginning, from scratch, right? Because when you install account manager, like I showed before, you have two options, and the default options is the default database. And it has already a pre-configured profile configuration made. And if you are changing the database and using the MySQL, then you need to, of course, create a profile here. So I'm just gonna go back here, back to the login page, profiles, no, need to go to general settings, LAM. If now I'm just gonna go to local file system, right, the one that was chosen before. If we go to our profiles, as you can see, this is the thing that is being now pulled from our LDAP.conf file, right? So these are the things that have been configured or pre-configured. Okay, so basically this is how it works, how it looks. If you want more info about how Account Manager works, you just need to grab the manual. It's the LDAP Account Manager manual. You got everything here. Unfortunately, we have a LAM Pro. We got the basic LAM that we just installed, right? LDAP Account Manager, and we have LDAP Account Manager Pro because they are selling the Pro version as well. And the Pro version has quite a lot of different features enabled. Yeah, as you can see, LAM Pro is quite often appearing here, so quite a lot of these different features are not available in the basic LAM. But still, it's usable. You can use it. You can utilize it. So I think that's gonna be it for today's tutorial, how to install OpenLDAP, and you can of course try to install PHP-MyAdmin if you want, although PHP-MyAdmin is very old and I think it's it's like past the due date. It's very old, so I don't think anything is being done about it. And I don't think it's even compatible anymore. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. Maybe it has quite a lot of different bugs and things. I know that this thing is up to date. It's going because they are selling the Pro version, so of course they are updating everything. Okay, so thanks again for watching. If you like the video, like, subscribe, and of course if you feel like being a supporter, you can go for it. And I will catch you in the next video, so I will be back on my Synology videos soon. I will catch you on later on. See you.